Welcome to Hello Baltimore County. I'm your host, Ellen Kobler. We all know that tobacco use is one of the single worst things we can do for our health, but quitting can be tough, and kids are still tempted to try it. Vicki Keller heads up the county's tobacco prevention and cessation programs, and she is here to help. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
First of all, the Department of Health was recently recognized for your tremendously successful enforcement program that prevents retailers from selling tobacco products to young people. Tell us about that.
That's right. 2 years ago, Baltimore County had a very high rate of sales to minors. And the county administration, as well as the Department of Health, aggressively addressed the issue by implementing an enforcement program. Through the enforcement program, we've been able to very successfully decrease the rate of tobacco sales to minors.
I mean, we've got the chart on screen. It's phenomenal. More than half of retailers initially were selling to minors, and you've got it down to about 1%.
That's correct. Now, that is what the state figures are, and our internal figures as well have dropped significantly.
How did you do this?
Well, we hired a number of enforcement staff. We call them health enforcement officers, and a number of minors, youth under the age of 18 years old. And we form enforcement teams. And these teams go to our retailers, and the youth will attempt to make a purchase of a tobacco product while the enforcement officer observes the sale. And that's very important, because if the retailer should decide to go to a hearing, it's important that the officer observe the entire sale.
Okay, so there was a witness, yeah.
Yes, yes. So if the youth is sold the tobacco product, then the officer will issue a citation with the appropriate fine. If the retailer does not ask the youth for identification so that he can make a determination if the youth is over the age of 18, then the enforcement officer will again issue a correction notice or a citation with the appropriate fine.
What kind of fines are you talking about?
Well, for sales to the minor, the first offense in a calendar year is $500.
Okay, that's a serious amount of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second offense is $1,000, and the third and subsequent offenses within that calendar year are $1,500. If a retailer does not ask for identification of the youth, then the first offense results in a correction notice, the second a $100 fine, and the third and subsequent $250 fines.
So obviously the county health department, the county executive cabinet see this as a very important issue to prevent teens from being able to buy tobacco. Why is it so critically important?
Yes, well, it's important to keep youth from accessing tobacco because we don't want them smoking at an early age. There's just too much of a severe health consequence with starting tobacco use early. Nicotine, teens especially, are very sensitive to the negative effects of nicotine.
Their brains are sort of still wired a little differently than adults.
In fact, teens are become dependent on nicotine so much faster than an adult can.
Really?
Yes, and it's very addictive. 90% of adults actually started tobacco use. Those who smoke started before the age of 18,
yeah,
and another 8%
true.
before they were 26 years old. So it's very addictive, and it's very deadly. Every year, tobacco actually kills over 480,000 people in this country. That's over 1,300 people a day.
Oh my gosh.
Tobacco kills more people than alcohol, AIDS, car accidents, overdoses, murders, and suicides combined.
Good grief.
Combined.
Yeah.
So it's an important program. If a third of our youth today who are smoking continue to smoke into adulthood, they will die of prematurely of a tobacco-related illness. And it's all because of a decision they made as a child. So it's very important for not just retailers, but for parents and educators, guidance counselors, everyone, to try to keep youth from accessing tobacco and from using tobacco at an early age.
So besides enforcement, what other strategies does the county do to reduce the use of tobacco by young people?
We have a number of outreach and education programs to raise awareness. We we actually provide grants to schools in order to allow them to enhance or supplement their current tobacco curriculums, so they can apply for a grant to conduct a tobacco education program. We also have funding available for community groups to be able to do the same thing, conduct tobacco programs to teach youth about the dangers.
Okay, so if somebody wants some assistance from the county, they can contact you?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, the funding should be available on or about July 1, and they can call 410-887-3828 to get the applications, and those applications will also be on our website.
Okay, and what if someone already is a tobacco user, whether they're a teen or an adult? What help is available to them from the
We
county?
have lots of resources for adults who would like to quit smoking. We offer classes throughout the county, and
Free
they're
classes?
completely free.
Wow.
Yes. There are usually 4 or 5 classes going on at any given time throughout the county, and those are group classes. So if one has attempted to quit before on their own, I would suggest that they try to quit by attending a group class, because we have an expert instructor and they have the benefit of that knowledge, as well as the benefit of having other people in the group where they can discuss the challenges of quitting. If one doesn't want to go to a group class, which is a multiple session class, we do have individual quit counseling.
Really?
And yes.
You can get an individual counselor?
Yes, every
Wow.
Tuesday afternoon at the Lansdowne Baltimore Highlands Health Center. We offer free, you can call for an appointment or you can just walk in. Yes, free
That's
classes.
phenomenal.
And then on Wednesday mornings at the Solars Point Multipurpose Center, we also have a walk-in clinic. And we do provide free nicotine replacement therapy products for all those who participate in our classes, either the classes or the individual sessions. We can provide nicotine patches, gum, lozenges, and also Chantix with a prescription.
And that's at no charge?
No charge at all.
Wow.
No charge at all.
That sounds like it's almost like there's no
Yes.
excuse not to at least try.
That's right.
You mentioned what a lot of my friends and family have experienced, where somebody tries to quit. Maybe they're using one of these products, maybe they're not, but it doesn't work.
Right.
And so they start
Right.
to feel like, I can't quit. But I'm hearing you say that if you've tried and it
Right.
hasn't worked,
Try again.
and do it maybe with
Yes,
some of these
yes.
structured
we
resources.
always tell people to try again. It takes an average of 7 attempts before one is successful at actually quitting.
Okay, say that again.
It takes an average of 7 attempts
Yeah.
to be successful at quitting. Now, if one doesn't want to go to a class or doesn't want to do a walk-in or an individual counseling session, then I would suggest that they call MD Quit and get a phone counseling. They can do that, and MD Quit also provides nicotine replacement products for free. Or there are apps available, smokingstopshere.com. But if one is interested in quitting, they could call our office and we'll walk them through all the available options.
Okay, and tell us again about some of these products that can be made available to people working with
Yes,
your
we
program.
will give several weeks worth of whatever is best for them, whatever was going to help them in their quit attempt. We offer the patches in different strengths. We offer the lozenges as well as the gum. And as I said, if with a prescription, if one wants
All right.
Chantix.
Well, thank you so very much. And thank you for watching Hello Baltimore County. We encourage you to connect with Baltimore County government on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll see you next time.